Hi again, everyone. 9 wins in a row. Plays a team out of Rock Creek, Washington, and they have a record of 14 wins and 7 losses on the season. With Mark Benetti, this is Tom Rudebush, our director on Hardhats-TV this afternoon. Mark at Washington State, the Cougars, and we're looking forward to a very interesting game because we have 2 teams that are playing very good baseball.
Absolutely right, Tom. The Hardhats come up against Rock Creek, who is their second out of 4 to face in this this Palouse Summer Series here. We're playing in Pullman, which, like you mentioned, this is just awesome to be here at Washington State University. And number one, a great press box and a great press facility. But this baseball facility, John Olerud, retired here at Washington State out in the right field wall, adds to even how special this is. So looking forward to a great day of baseball.
John Olerud, of course, had a great career with the Toronto Blue Jays, his main team that he played with in his career. I think he finished up with Seattle or somebody. And
lineup that if it gets late in an inning or you're at the bottom of your order and you need a big hit, Justin can come through for you and he can get it done. So while, yes, you'd like to see guys with 400 batting averages batting in either the meat of the order or at least in the third spot, maybe even cleanup, having Justin in that 400-plus batting average in the 8th spot is absolutely critical, and it adds to how versatile this offense is that anybody, regardless of what spot they are in the order, can smack the ball around.
Now, Rock Creek is a team that doesn't have their full roster with them for kind of an unusual reason. One of the coaches was telling me that they had so much snow in the Seattle area this year that they had a bunch of snow days they had to add on to the end of their high school season and or high school class days, and so they're not fully full roster here. He didn't say exactly how many or if there are any really good players that they're missing today. He only commented about his starting pitcher Grundle. He says, "I just hope he can throw strikes." That's all he said about his pitcher.
Well, it should make for an interesting test, Tom. I mean, look, maybe they're not putting out their ace on the lineup, but nonetheless, you can't count this team out. They're coming in on a 9-game winning streak just like the Hardhats are. So it's going to be a battle of wills out here. Both of these teams want to extend their win streaks to double-digit totals. So, well, we should be in for quite a 7 innings of baseball today.
You look at this field here, this home of Washington State, and it's 330 down the left field line, 330 down the right field line, and 400 to straightaway center field. So very fair dimensions, a good college park, and decked out, of course, in red, which is the main color for the Washington State Cougars. Quite a campus. They have about 29,000 students enrolled at Washington State. Now, the town itself, Pullman, is only about 33,000. So you can see how much greater the population is when school is in session compared to what it would be, say, now. Although we saw quite a few kids walking around campus today. I'm sure there's a lot of kids taking summer courses and getting some credits during the summer also. But it's certainly a beautiful day here. We couldn't ask for a better day for baseball.
No, we couldn't, and we couldn't ask for a better performance from the Hardhats last night. A big 10-0 win over the Crew Baseball Club in Game 1 of the Palouse Summer Series for them. And now they look to Rock Creek here in Game 2 out of 4 to be played in pool play. If the Hardhats win their pool, they'll go to bracket play, which, if they make it all the way, would be a doubleheader here at this very stadium. And I believe they'll travel here once more before bracket play begins as well. So we're not done with the beautiful campus of Washington State University. Out at home plate, both of the managers of each of their respective ball clubs, Billy Boyer, the head coach of Rock Creek, and Coach Mitch Messer of the Hardhats, are exchanging their lineup cards. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go over our starting lineups for today's 7 innings of regulation. Rock Creek select. They are batting in the top halves of our 7 innings. So let's go ahead and give you their batting order as follows. Leading off is number 15, Noah Andrews, but defensively he's playing at shortstop. Batting second is number 29, Kyle Sharrock. He is patrolling center field. Batting third is number 13, Dawson Baker. He's patrolling left field. And in the cleanup spot for Rock Creek is number 23, Hunter Jenkins. He is the designated hitter. Batting fifth is number 24, Calvin Turchin. He's patrolling right field on defense. Batting sixth is number 16, Bo Blowers. He is in the hot corner at third base. Batting seventh is number 8, Henry Murphy. He's playing at second base. Batting eighth is number 25, J.V. Magruder. He's at first base. And rounding out the batting order for Rock Creek is number 20, Kia Osaka. He is the catcher. Bror Grundle, number 12, is the pitcher. Starting off today for Rock Creek, and he'll take on the Hardhats in the bottom halves of our 7 innings, and their lineup as follows. Leading off is number 11, Walker Paz, defensively positioned at second base. Batting second is number 13, Zach Solano. He's patrolling right field. Batting third is number 22, Cooper Bowman. He is at shortstop. And in the cleanup position for the Hardhats is number 23, Eric Petrie. He is the designated hitter. Batting fifth is number 28, Zach Sumption. He is patrolling left field. Batting sixth, number 31, Luke Ferdinand. He is out at first base. Batting seventh is number 21, Timmy Paris. He's the backstopper and catcher for the Hardhats. Batting eighth for post 22 is number 14, Justin Kramer. He is in the hot corner at third base. Rounding out the batting order for your Hardhats is number 12, Connor King. He is patrolling center field. Tommy Wall is on the mound for the Hardhats today. And Tommy Wall has just put together sensational appearances on the mound. 23 innings of work exactly under his belt. This will be his 12th appearance of the season and his third by virtue of his start. Tommy's most impressive statistic outside of a 1.22 ERA is 28 strikeouts to 8 walks. Oh, and by the way, he also has a 1-0 record under his belt as well. So Tommy Wall, the last time he came out and he started, he carried a no-hitter and a shutout into the 4th inning. Ended up taking up the win for his first win of the season in a Hardhat uniform. So here's hoping that he can provide the Hardhats with another quality start here in Game 2 of the Palouse Summer Series. So we get set now for Rock Creek to come to the batter's box. Noah Andrews, the shortstop, Kyle Sharrock, the center fielder, and Dawson Baker, the left fielder, are due up. Again, they'll take on Tommy Wall, his 1-0 record and his 28 strikeouts to 8 walks on the mound. Defensively, around him for the Hardhats, he's paired up with his catcher, Timmy Paris. At first is Luke Ferdinand. At second is Walker Paz. At shortstop, Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Justin Kramer. Left to right in the outfield, Zach Sumption, Connor King, and Zach Solano.
So Noah Andrews, the right-handed batting shortstop, stepping in against Tommy Wall, and the first pitch is a strike on the outside corner, and we are underway this afternoon at 2:56. That's Pacific time. 2:56 is our starting time, and our temperature 71 degrees. Lots of sunshine. Check swing and a strike called, and the count to Andrews now is 0-2. Tommy Wall looking to nail down that 4th spot maybe in the rotation. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. And it's inside, and it hit him on the left arm. And Andrews is hit by a pitch, and I think that also got the umpire because he's walking behind home plate as if he's in a little bit of agony. You know, we were talking this morning, Mark, back at the hotel about Tommy Wall, about, gosh, it'd be great to see him get that starting spot, but then it kind of takes somebody out of the bullpen.
It takes a very reliable and, most importantly, a clutch arm out of the bullpen. Tommy, as we've talked about in countless relief appearances this year, has pitched shutout baseball. So, yes, while you'd like to see him give you that edge up front to start off a ball game, the downside is you take out somebody who can really mow down batters in the later stages of a baseball game.
Now the left-handed batting center fielder Kyle Sherrick up. Ferdinand holding with Andrews at first base. Wall's pitch is a fastball inside for ball one. Post 22, the home team occupying the third base dugout for this afternoon's game here on Hardhat-TV. Tomorrow also the game only on Hardhat-TV. Wall trying to keep Andrews close at first base. It's a 1-ball count on Sherrick. Here's the set now by Tommy. The pitch on the way. Check swing and a strike at the belt. 1-1 now on Sherrick. Post 22 plays at 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Rapid City time against Toyota Baseball. Here's a throw to first, and the runner is back. One ball, one strike the count. Here's the set by Tommy Wall. The pitch on the way. And it's a fastball outside, belt high again. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Two and one. Against Tommy Wall this season, teams are batting just .188. Here's the set and the pitch. Fastball outside, ball 3. So Tommy digging himself a bit of a hole here. He hit the leadoff man. And he's behind Sherrick here, 3-1 with the number 3 hitter, Dawson Baker, their left fielder on deck. Wall sets. Here's the pitch. Runner goes, a swing and a miss. The throw to second is high, and it goes on into center field. Heading to third base is Andrews, and the throw, and it's not in time. So Andrews, with a stolen base, advances to third on the overthrow by catcher Timmy Paris. The pitch was a strike to Sherrick, so it's a full count on the hitter. But a runner at third now for Rock Creek, and nobody out.
Timmy just launched that, and it's unfortunate because if he kept it down, you're only dealing with a man 180 feet away from home. Now he's 90 feet to your left.
Here's the windup by Wall, the pitch. It is a ball, low and outside. It's runners at first and third now for Rock Creek. Nobody out here. Top half of the first inning, and Dawson Baker, their left fielder, coming up.
Now watch for the runner at first. If he takes off for second, he's going to try and goad the Hardhats into trying to get him when the runner on third can take an easy stroll home. So now there's a mind game to be played between the infield defense and the base runners of Rock Creek.
Here's Tommy Wall from the set. And the pitch. And it's a strike at the letters. Of course, a lot of times coaches, when you got your number 3 hitter up with runners at the corners, they're not as tempted to try something like that, giving the hitter a chance to do what he does best in that number 3 spot. But you never know. They've been aggressive here in this first inning. He doesn't have a big lead off at first. 1 strike pitch from Wall is on the way, and it's swung on and missed for strike 2. So Tommy jumps ahead of Baker 0-2 here. An early threat for Rock Creek with runners at first and third and nobody out.
This is a big moment here for Tommy. He needs to get the out of the plate here so that the double play can set up the end of the inning at the next batter.
Outfield is straight away for post 22. The infield double play depth. Wall delivers. Runner at first goes. Swing and a miss. No throw made to second base. So they strike out Baker. But Sherrick steals second. Timmy made no attempt at all to try to throw down there. They were concerned about the runner at third base. So, Mark, you had that pegged right. It's interesting, they did do it with 2 strikes, too, on the hitter. They wanted to check things out. Here's a fastball just on the outside corner to Hunter Jenkins, the designated hitter for Rock Creek, left-handed batter. Post 22 will keep the infield back early in the game, top of the first inning. Rock Creek with runners at second and third and 1 out. And now time is called as Jenkins steps out. Now Tommy Wall ready. Here's the set. It's pitch on the way, and it's a fastball, misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's Wall working out of the set, checks the runner at third. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a strike on the outside edge. Boy, Tommy has really been working that outside corner, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Particularly against these lefties, too, and he's locating it very well. I think he's had 2 maybe close calls. Otherwise, the umpire is pointing to his right, and that's rung up as a strike.
1 and 2 now on the cleanup hitter. Hunter Jenkins, the pitch is swung on and fouled, back and out of play. Pitch was up, though, again from Tommy, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jenkins, the cleanup hitter, he's a junior. He'll be back next year for this team. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's swung on, hit down the left field line and out of play. So Jenkins fouls off a couple of pitches here, and the count runs along at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Andrews at third and Sherrick at second here. 1 out. Top half of the first inning, no score. I'm anxious to see a ground ball here to see how this turf plays. Pitch on the way, and it's up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jenkins. We've played on turf where? In Gillette. And we played on turf in Denver. And it seems to me there was one other place. Cheyenne? Were they turf? 1 ball, 2 strikes. Should be 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch is hit up the middle for a base hit. In the score is Andrews. Sherrick is coming home. Here comes the throw to the plate. Not in time. A 2-run single up the middle for Hunter Jenkins, the designated hitter. And boy, did he do some good hitting. He fouled off a couple of pitches, got one he could handle, and just hit it right back up the middle for a 2-run single. And we have not seen post 22 in this position very often this season, trailing by 2-0 in the top of the first inning.
Well, again, a hit by pitch the first of the year for Tommy Wall. Then the base on balls didn't really help him out. Smart base running, too, by Rock Creek also put them in their position. So give him a ton of credit for striking first.
Calvin Turchin up, the right fielder, right-handed batter. He swings and misses. 1 strike. Number 5 hitter for Rock Creek. So an early 2-0 lead. Rock Creek batting with a runner at first and 1 out. Wall sets. He delivers. And a fastball belt high in the outside corner for a strike. And it's 0-2. Bo Blowers, the third baseman, on deck. Ferdinand holding with Jenkins at first. Wall ahead on the count, 2 strikes. A big right-handed batter is Turchin. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sometimes it's deceiving, but he's got to be 6'5", I would think. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Wall tosses to first base. They list a 25-man roster. Here goes the runner, and the pop foul back and out of play by Turchin. Jenkins was running. Still a ball and 2 strikes on the Rock Creek right fielder.
I don't think we've seen the Hardhats play a team that is so aggressive early on the base path. This Rock Creek team, they're thinking about running early and often. And good on them, it's worked.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Turchin. Now Wall is ready. And he'll throw to first base. One ball, 2 strikes on Turchin. Here's the set by Tommy Wall. The pitch on the way, and it's low and outside. So the count all even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kyle McGuire is slated to pitch the game tomorrow for Post 22 against Toyota Baseball. Here's a throw to first. Jenkins is there. He had the 2-run single here in the top of the first inning to give Rock Creek an early 2-run lead, and they're still batting. Beautiful field, as you can see here on Hardhat-TV. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. He got him on a pitch away. Turchin couldn't lay off of it. Second strikeout of the inning for Wall. And it brings up Bo Blowers, the third baseman.
The whole thing that set up that strikeout was patience of a saint from Tommy Wall. He waited for his opportunity to eventually start pounding low and away. He got ahead in the count to put him in that spot, but then it was pickoff attempt after pickoff attempt at first, and that really throws off a batter's timing sometimes. So good on Tommy to utilize his patience. 2 down, just have to get that last out and get out of this.
Blowers, a left-handed batter, and he takes a pitch high and outside, ball 1.
Noticing a pattern here in the Rock Creek batting order. Righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty. Oh, quite the spread out lineup.
1 ball and no strikes to Blowers. The pitch on the way is swung on and missed. He decided too late, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch kind of breaking down and in to the left-handed batter. One and 1 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. Boy, Wall's really kind of handcuffed Blowers on those last 2 pitches. Jenkins at first with 2 out. Here's the set by Tommy, and his pitch on the way, and it's a ball, breaking ball down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kind of interesting to compare this field with the Bitterroot field we played on a couple of nights ago when it was 335 feet to center. Here's Wall's pitch, and it's lifted foul out of play down the left field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tommy's been given a workout here in the first inning.
He just threw his 30th pitch.
30 pitches here in the first inning for Tommy Wall. This is the first actual tournament format that Post 22 has played in this year. There's another foul back by Blowers, and it's still 2 and 2, where the winners of each pool actually will meet on Sunday. 2 semifinal games, and then a championship game on Sunday, which will be played here at Washington State on Sunday, the title game and one of the semifinal games. Here's the pitch. Another foul. Again, he was late, and Blowers holds in at 2 balls and 2 strikes. In fact, the Post 22 should make that Sunday round. Their semifinal game is scheduled here, and with the championship games being scheduled here, that would be great. They wouldn't even have to go anywhere if they would win. So let's see if the Hard Hats can't make that championship round on Sunday. 2-2 on Blowers, and Wall's pitch. A foul at the plate. And the count still 2-2. Blowers, the number 6 hitter for Rock Creek. They've come up with 2 runs here in this first inning on just 1 hit. But it was a big 2-run single by the runner at first, Hunter Jenkins. Wall sets the 2-2 pitch, and it's up and away. The runner going down to second, and no throw by Timmy Paris. Interesting. Have we seen that before? A little bit of a delayed steal there by Jenkins. And that's the first time this season I've seen somebody else employ that, which means that this is a well-coached ball club. Post 22's done it several times successfully this year. 3-2 now on Blowers. Runner at second with 2 outs. The pitch on the way, and it swung on and missed. Well, how do you like that? Tommy Wall fans the side. 3 strikeouts, all swinging. But in the process, Rock Creek scores 2 runs on 1 hit. No Rapid City errors and 1 man left on base. 2-0. Post 22 is down at the end of the first half inning. They'll come to bat with Walker Paz to lead off, and you're watching Hard Hat Baseball on Hardhats-TV.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org.
So we'll get a look at the Rock Creek starting pitcher here as he takes his warm-ups. That is Bror Grundle. He'll be facing Paz, Solano, and Bowman here in the bottom half of the first inning.
Defensively around Grundle, he's paired up with his catcher, Kia Osaka. At first for Rock Creek is J.V. Magruder. At second, Henry Murphy. Shortstop Noah Andrews. In the hot corner at third is Bo Blowers. Left to right in the outfield, Dawson Baker, Kyle Sherrick, and Calvin Turchin.
Talking with the Washington State coach who's here watching this game. In particular, he's watching Cooper Bowman. And he said that he got a report last night on Cooper's game against, who did we play last night?
The Crew Baseball
Crew
Club.
Baseball. And, of course, Cooper had a sensational hitting game with the 2 home runs, a double, and 7 RBIs. But he said that, and Mitch Messer said this before the game, the word's starting to get around on Cooper. And it's interesting, some of the reactions, some of these D1 coaches always are a little suspect of players out of South Dakota for some reason, but I'm sure Washington State isn't after having Tanner Cleverat come through the program. Walker Paz up, and he takes a pitch down low for a ball. Walker hitting .412. 2 home runs, 22 RBIs for the left-handed batting post 22 second baseman Walker Paz. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit to the right side. Second baseman fields it to his left, Murphy, and he throws to first for the out. So Walker retired, second to first, and that'll bring up Zach Solano, the right fielder. Zach hitting .367. Tied for the team lead in home runs with 6 with Cooper Bowman, and he has 39 RBIs, second on the team. Here's Grundle's pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner. Grundle has kind of a herky-jerky motion for a right-hander. Might take the hitters a time through the batting order to get used to it. Here's the pitch, and it's low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Heck, Tom, I'm still getting used to it. It's wonky out there, I'll tell you that.
It's what?
Wonky.
Wonky?
Mm-hmm.
1 ball and 1 strike.
You haven't heard somebody use that to describe something before?
Well, I haven't known too many people from New York. You know, you're a big city, and here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's high, And it's 2 balls and a strike. I'm just from little old South Dakota. I mean, I'm not one of you guys. 2 balls and a strike.
You make it sound so glamorous.
Well, anybody who knows you're a glamorous guy. There's a line drive to center, but Sherrick is moving to his right to make the catch in left center. So Solano's out as he lines out to Sherrick over towards left center. 2 down in the post 22 bottom half of the first inning. They trail 2-0. Here's Cooper Bowman. 495 going into the game today. 6 home runs lead the team. 46 RBIs leads the team. His .565 on base percentage leads the team. And he takes a pitch low and outside. His .871 slugging percentage leads the team. His OPS of 1.434 leads the team. He leads the team in stolen bases.
I'm starting to see a trend here.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, rolled towards short, and in the left center field, a base hit. Andrews was kind of pulling a little bit over towards the hole, and Cooper has another base hit. Cooper has had 11 hits now in his last 15 at-bats, covering this will be the 4th game. And then prior to that at-bat, in the last 6 games he's played, 15 for 22, which is .682.
Wow.
Here's Eric Petrie, the designated hitter, batting .398. Eric with 5 homers and 24 RBIs. Here's the pitch, and it's too low for a ball. Bowman at first with 2 out. Post 22, down by 2 runs. Here's the set by Grundle. The pitch on the way, and it's down in the dirt, and Bowman's going to be able to go to second base. Wild pitch allowing Bowman to go to second. And post 22 has a chance to get one of these runs back here in the bottom of the first inning. Or more if Eric can get a hold of one here. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. And it's low, and the count runs to 3-0. Zach Sumption will hit next if Petrie gets on. Here's the set by Grundle, his pitch, and it's a strike on the low outside corner. 3-1 on Eric. Bowman at second with 2 outs. The shortstop, Andrews, is playing just a step on the outfield grass and then creeps in a couple steps as the pitch is delivered. Swing and a miss. A fastball in on Petrie, and it's a full count now, 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Grundle sets, looks back at Bowman, delivers. It is a ball down low. And Petrie with a 2-out walk, and now post 22. Runners at first and second. 2 out, and Zach Sumption up, the left fielder. Zach at .448 on the season, second highest average on the team, a couple of home runs, 24 RBIs. Batting 5th in left field and takes a fastball high and inside, and Grundle now all of a sudden is struggling with his location. Zach has 5 triples on the season, which leads the team, 6 doubles. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped foul up the third baseline. 1 ball and 1 strike on Sumption. First baseman Magruder now playing in back of Petrie at first, a deep first base. And now Grundle steps off the rubber, walks off the mound. 1 ball, 1 strike on Sumption. Bowman at second, Petrie at first, and 2 out. The last half of the first inning. Here's the set by Grundle. The pitch on the way. It is a ball inside. 2-1 the count. Zach looking for a pitch here he can drive. And again, Grundle steps off the rubber. It's an all-artificial surface here at Washington State, including the mound. A lot of artificial surfaces will still have a dirt mound, but not here. 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch on the way. It is a strike on the low outside corner. Good pitch by Grundle, and it's 2-2 now to Sumption.
Now, if I'm Sumption, I'm looking to protect here. Anything that's close, try and drive this pitch count up on Grundle and keep making him work to try and put you out.
As you can see here on Hardhat-TV, a big scoreboard out in left center field. Here's the pitch. And it's high and tight, a full count on Sumption. So with 2 outs, Bowman will be running from second, Petrie from first. Rock Creek's coach said before the game, we hope our pitcher throws strikes. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That was the worry about Grundle. Here's the pitch on the way, and he walked him low and outside. He's walked 2 in a row. And post 22 now has the bases loaded. 2 outs. And here comes the Rock Creek coach out to the mound as Luke Ferdinand will be the hitter here with 2 outs.
Billy Boyer, that's actually Dave Wainhouse, one of the assistants that's out there right now, number 48, talking to his pitcher and catcher. And to the topic of throwing strikes here, Tom, Grundle right now is at a 20-pitch count. Only 8 of those have been strikes, and of those 8, 3 of those have been put in play. So when it just comes to the batter himself, he's only thrown 5 pitches that have either been swung on and missed or called strikes by the umpire. So he's having some trouble locating. Granted, he did get the first 2 to retire themselves. Walker Paz on a ground out to second, and Zach Solano on a fly out, but he's having trouble getting that final out.
So a chance for post 22. Down by 2-0 here in the last half of the first inning to make some hay. Ferdinand hitting .321. Here's the pitch, and it's down in the dirt for a ball. I guess we should technically say it's down in the turf for a ball, right?
Yeah, old habits die hard.
1 ball and no strikes. Ferdinand has 3 doubles on the year. He's knocked in 12. Here's the pitch. Low and inside, and it's 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Big gap in left center field for Luke. Here's the pitch. Low and inside. 3-0, and Grundle is really struggling here. He got the first 2 men out. And then Bowman singled, and then back-to-back walks to Petrie and Sumption. And he's behind 3-0 on Ferdinand. Here's the pitch. And a strike, letter high. And we're going to get some activity down in the bullpen now for Rock Creek. Some early action. 3 balls and a strike, the pitch. High and inside, ball 4. That forces in a run. Bowman scores. Petrie to third, Sumption to second. Ferdinand gets his 13th RBI of the season. And Timmy Paris comes up with the bases loaded, 2 outs, hitting at .298. 13 doubles, leads the team. He has 2 home runs and 35 RBIs.
That's Luke's 4th RBI, by the way, in his last 3 games. He had 1 last night on a 4-3 ground out. That knocked in a run also with the bases loaded, and now he draws one by virtue of a baseball and ball. So good on Luke playing some consistently offensive baseball. He's contributed in every single game of this road trip so far.
Coach Boyer came out and had a conversation with the home plate umpire between the plate and the first base dugout. Didn't last too long. Paris steps in now with the bases loaded. 2 outs, 2-1. Rock Creek here in the bottom of the first, and the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 on Timmy. Here's the set. Grundle's pitch is swung on, popped up. It's going to go into foul territory, and it's going to be the first baseman losing the ball in the sun, and nobody can catch it. Magruder looked like he had a beat on it. He was certainly acting like he did. He's running in to give the ball to his pitcher and probably say, I am sorry. 2 strikes now on Paris.
I will say credit to Henry Murphy because he got on his horse and he tried to do everything that he could to make a play on the ball. Obviously, with the first baseman losing sight, he's the next best guy to come in because of his proximity to the play, but that's a lucky break there for Timmy Paris.
2 strikes to count. The pitch on the way is foul back. The thing that amazed me about that, if Magruder didn't see the ball, he should have said, made it very obvious that he couldn't pick up the ball, which would have given the second baseman a lot better chance to get over there and maybe make a play on the ball. But this continues the theme we picked up on last night and the night before about outfield play, and that really wasn't an outfield play, but yet it was a fly ball play. 2-strike pitch, swing and a miss, a breaking ball down and away, and Paris is out on strikes. So Grundle is able to limit the damage in the first inning to 1 run on 1 hit. He walked 3. He left the bases loaded. There were no Rock Creek errors. And at the end of 1 inning of play here from Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, the Hardhats are down by a run. It's Rock Creek 2, the Hardhats 1, and you're watching Post 22 Baseball on Hardhat-TV.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRAS IPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Lower third of the batting order for Rock Creek here against Tommy Wall. It'll be Henry Murphy, the second baseman, J.V. Magruder, the first baseman, and Kia Osaka, the catcher. Rock Creek got 2 runs on just 1 hit in the first inning. Tommy Wall opened the game by hitting the leadoff man, Noah Andrews, and then walking Kyle Sherrick. So there were 2 on that Tommy put on, and then eventually the 2-run single by Jenkins. We head to the top of the second. So here's Henry Murphy, the second baseman. He's a right-handed batter for Rock Creek. Kind of interesting. We come into the game, and of course our Post 22 hats with the big RC on the front. And then we see Rock Creek with their hats on, a big RC on the front.
What are the odds?
Here's Murphy, and here's Wall's pitch, and it's high and outside for ball 1. One ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball right in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch. Strike 2 on the low outside corner. And Wall jumps ahead of Murphy 1-2. Tommy recorded 3 strikeouts, all swinging in the first inning. Here's the pitch on the way. It swung on, a fly ball to right. Over near the foul line goes Solano. He's under it out there, and he makes the catch about 7 or 8 feet fair. So Murphy out on a fly ball to Solano in right field. That'll bring up J.V. Magruder, the number 8 hitter and the first baseman.
We'll get on Tommy this time to retire the first batter. If there's anything that he has to do right now, he has to come back with a relatively uneventful inning. So 1-2-3 inning. Maybe he sees only 4 batters and strands 1 on the base path. He's got to have a relatively uneventful evening here for his defense.
Here's the pitch. And a breaking ball over for a strike. Yeah, Tommy looks like he has settled down considerably since the first couple of hitters. 1 strike pitch to Magruder. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Low and outside, 1-2 on Magruder. Tommy Wall, pretty good poise on the mound. He doesn't really get rattled too often. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's a ball low and outside, 2-2.
And that's his best attribute as a pitcher. Nothing phases this kid. And I've been saying it since last season when he first put on a hard hat. He has ice water in his veins, and you cannot coach that.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Top of the second for Rock Creek. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it's low and outside. So Tommy had him 0-2. And now the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, unfortunately, Tommy's trying to go back for that outside corner, which worked well when he was pitching against the lefties. He's got to pound inside on these guys because he's been working that part of the plate very well.
3-2 pitch is swung on, a ground ball to third. Kramer fields it and guns it on over to Ferdinand for the out. Magruder out third to first, and that'll bring up Kia Osaka, the catcher. The number 9 hitter. Right-handed batter.
That's what we were just talking about. Relatively uneventful inning. He's not out of it yet. He still has 1 more out to get, but these first 2 outs, an F9 and a 5-3, seems pretty boring. So good on him to adjust.
Here's the pitch to Osaka, and it's a strike at the knees. No balls and a strike. With 2 outs, here's the pitch. Swung on, line to right. Solano coming in towards the line, grabs it for the 3rd out. Osaka lines out to right. A 1-2-3 second inning for Tommy Wall, recovering from a struggle in 35 pitch first inning for Tommy, and he comes back nicely here in the second.
Just a dozen in this inning.
3 up and 3 down. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Post 22 coming to bat. And Rock Creek leads the Hardhats by a score of 2-1. Post 22 baseball throughout the season. Every game right here on Hardhat-TV.
Trusted Choice Insurance agents are independent agents.
I pledge to be your guide, not only to insurance, but to insurance companies.
They don't actually work for any one insurance company.
And to use my independence to identify the coverage that's best for you.
This means they can customize policies from several companies in ways that other agents just can't. And they commit to that.
And I pledge.
In writing. Trusted Choice. You need an independent insurance agent.
Black Hills Insurance Agency, a tradition of service since 1949.
Hardhats coming to bat here in the bottom of the second. Justin Kramer, the 3rd baseman, number 8 hitter, will start things off. Connor King on deck, and then Walker Paz to follow. Justin at .404 on the season, and probably outside of Cooper Bowman has been the hottest hitter over the last 7 to 10 games. Justin with 9 doubles, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs, and he's played a very solid third base here the last 3 weeks or so. Now the catcher and the pitcher are going to try to get on the same page, and Osaka, the catcher, runs all the way out to the mound to talk with Grundle. Brord Grundle gave up a run on a hit in the first inning, but he walked 3 men in that first inning. And that was the big fear of the Rock Creek coaches, was how is his command going to be? Here's the pitch on the way, and a fastball low for ball 1. They have new turf on the infield here at Washington State. The outfield turf is still their original turf. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, a bouncing ball wide of first. Backhanded by Magruder. Flips to the pitcher, Grundle, covering at first for the out. Nice play by Magruder and Grundle, combining for that 3-1. First baseman to the pitcher put out of Justin Kramer. That'll bring up Connor King, the center fielder. Connor's hit the ball better here in the last week or so, hitting at .255, 2 homers and 21 RBIs. There's a ground ball again to first, and it's through the wickets of first baseman McGruger. And King is on an error on the Rock Creek first baseman. Boy, that last play he made was a good play, and then that one is a routine ground ball to first. So there's the first error of the game, and our second error of the game, first for Rock Creek, and it brings up Walker Paz.
Well, the Hardhats got away with one there. Now you've got to take advantage, try and knock in Connor to tie this up.
Walker lines a base hit in the right field, and going to second base is King. So Walker Paz jumps on the first pitch and lines a base hit to right field. Walker had grounded out to second, his first at bat. So Zach Solano comes up with runners at first and second, and one out. How many times have we seen this inning too? Opposing teams' pitchers being put in great stress because their defense makes routine plays into errors. And that's what's happened here to Brewer Grundle in the second. Solano lined out to left center, his first at bat. Grundle sets and throws. Swung on, chopped foul. Down and back of home plate, one strike.
This is where patience is absolutely critical, and I know Zach wants to try and tie this game up as fast as humanly possible, but if he sits on that breaking pitch, he would have absolutely crushed it. So utilize your good vision. Zach's a great batter because of his eyes. Utilize your vision, utilize your patience, wait for something to drive.
One strike to count the pitch, and it's too high for a ball. Count all even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2-1. Rock Creek leading. Post 22 bats here in the last half of the second. They have 2 on, runners at first and second, 1 out. The pitch on the way, and it's low for ball 2 on Solano.
Like you mentioned earlier, Tom, the worry of head coach Billy Boyer of Rock Creek was if Grundle could throw strikes. Well, if that's the worry, you wait for him to do that. Otherwise, let him pitch around you, take the free pass.
There's a fly ball to center field. Sherrick drifting back a couple of steps under it. He has it. Tagging up at second and going to third, and then post 22 takes another base with the runner at first, Paz tagging and going to second. Again, a miscue. Very simple, basic baseball. The throw comes into second base. The center fielder's not going to throw out Connor King going from second to third, and yet they fell into that trap. So Solano flies to center. Runners move up. Runners at second and third, 2 out. And here's Cooper Bowman.
And why is that so critical? Because if Cooper Bowman delivers like he normally does in the clutch, 2 runs come across, not just 1.
Breaking ball, high and outside, ball 1. Cooper singled to left. Scored the Rapid City run in the first inning. 11 hits now in his last 15 at-bats. 16 hits in his last 23 at-bats. The pitch, swung on, and it's hit up the middle, a base hit. That'll score King. Here comes Paz to the plate. The throw coming to the mound, cut off. 3-2, Rapid City. Cooper Bowman with 2 more RBIs, giving him 48 on the season.
You want to know something else incredibly impressive, Tom? I just looked back at the last couple of game sheets. That's now the 7th at-bat in a row in which Cooper Bowman has registered a hit, and that's dating back to 2 games prior to today. So that's incredible. 7 consecutive at-bats with a hit.
So here's Eric Petrie, and he takes a pitch down low for a ball. You know, Cooper had his hitting streaks snapped here about 4. And the reason he did, he walked twice and had a sacrifice fly. 1-0 pitch. And it's a ball inside. 2-0 the count on Petrie. Rapid City has taken a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the second. They have a runner at first in Bowman who has 21 steals on the year. And a bouncing foul by Petrie off to the left. 2 balls and a strike.
In those 7 consecutive at-bats, Cooper's had an RBI double, a 2-run home run, a grand slam, a double, an RBI single, a single, and a 2-run RBI single. I don't get it.
2 balls and 1 strike. I get it. He's good.
Oh, he's just fantastic.
This just in. Cooper Bowman is hitting the ball.
Wait a second. When did this happen?
3-1 over the last 6 weeks.
Oh, okay. There we go.
3-1 pitch. Runner goes. The pitch is in there for a strike. The throw to second and out at second base with a head-first slide is Cooper Bowman. The first time he has been thrown out stealing this season. He had 21 out of 21 before being tossed out there by catcher Osaka. But the error opens up a big inning for Post 22. Big in the sense that they take the lead. 2 runs on 2 hits in the inning. 1 big Rock Creek error. And nobody left on base. And at the end of 2 here from Washington State University, the Hardhats lead Rock Creek by a score of 3-2. And you're listening and watching Post 22 Baseball on Hardhat-TV.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
The end of 2 innings of play. It's 3-2. Post 22 has the lead. The top of the batting order for Rock Creek here against Tommy Wall. In the 3rd inning, Noah Andrews, their shortstop, leads off. He was hit by a pitch and came around to score in the 1st inning. Right-handed batting, Rock Creek shortstop. So Tommy Wall will be pitching with the lead now here in the 3rd inning. Into his windup, he delivers, and a slider strike call, then it's 0-1. One strike on Andrews. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes to count. It's interesting. As we go through the game, I didn't notice this until just moments ago. They put the velocity of the pitch up on the scoreboard. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a foul back. 81 miles per hour on that pitch from Tommy Wall. Two strikes to count on Andrews. Here's the motion and the pitch. Ground ball hit to the right of Paz. He can't get to it. It goes on into center field. He diving to his right. Tried to backhand it. And a leadoff hit for Noah Andrews. The leadoff man is on. And that brings up Kyle Sherrick.
Unfortunate to see, too. Tommy Wall was right in the driver's seat in that. Credit Walker Paz. He made such a great effort on the ball that was just an inch out of his reach.
Sherrick, a left-handed batter, walked and scored in the first inning. Ferdinand holding with Andrews at first. Kramer up on the edge of the grass at third. And the pitch is a strike on the low outside corner at 83 miles an hour.
Tommy Wall is only one of 5 now Hardhats pitchers that has a first pitch strike percentage of over 60%. He's at 61.3 coming into this ball game, and he's proven it all night long, and that percentage will skyrocket after today.
And that pitch misses outside, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
And that's a lot of the reason why Tommy can pitch with as much confidence as he has, because he's already in the driver's seat in the count with that first pitch strike. So great execution by number 16 on the mound.
We're in the top of the third inning. The Hardhats leading Rock Creek 3-2. And Wall will throw to first base. Andrews takes his lead. He stole a base in the first inning. He's got a good lead, too, off the bag. There he goes. Pitch is high and outside. The throw to second base is in time. They got him. Cooper Bowman taking the throw at shortstop, got a quick tag down on Andrews. So after he stole first base or second base in the first inning, Timmy Paris makes a good throw. Count is 2-1 now in Sherrick.
I think Tommy Wall purposefully pitched that outside for ball 2 just so that Timmy Paris had the better angle to make the throw.
Swing and a miss by Sherrick, and the count is 2-2.
And that's this time Timmy kept it low, and Cooper Bowman, it was right onto his glove in a very narrow play. He just tagged the cleat of Andrews to make it the out there at second.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on the way, and it swung on and fouled back. So Sherrick with a count of 2-2. King out in center field is shading the opposite way over towards left center on Sherrick. Gap in right center field for him. And the pitch comes in high. And the count now is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Tommy's had a few 3-ball counts so far in the game. He's got a 3-2 pitch here to Sherrick. It's on the way. It's swung on. Foul back. Dawson Baker, the left fielder, number 3 hitter, will hit next for Rock Creek. And the payoff pitch. Foul back. Sherrick hangs in with a count of 3-2. I wonder how Rock Creek got its name.
I could go out on a limb and say maybe that there was a creek with some rocks in it. I don't know. I could be wrong. That's the easy way out of it, though. I'm sure it's more creative than that.
You may be onto something there. 3-2 on Sherrick. Here's the pitch. Foul back. 4 in a row that Sherrick has fouled off. And it's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2. Post 22 leading Rock Creek as they bat in the top of the 3rd inning. 1 out, nobody on. And Wall's pitch on the way is lined out into center field. King coming on, and he has to play it on a hop. Kind of a soft line drive out to center, and Connor was shading a little bit towards left center. So Sherrick is on with a 1-out single here. That's hit number 3 in the game for Rock Creek, and it brings up their number 3 hitter, Dawson Baker, the left fielder, who struck out swinging in the 1st inning.
That was a smart play by Connor because he had one of 2 options. Either play it on the hop the way he did or try and lay out to make a dramatic catch. I think if he laid out, the ball would have skipped right by him. So good on him to stay patient, just take the hop and set back up.
Baker fouls the pitch back, 1 strike. You always have to be a little careful when you don't usually play on turf and the outfielders come in to field a 1-hopper. A lot of times you'll see that ball bounce right over their head. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. The pitch is low, no throw. Stolen base for Sherrick. So they're 2 out of 3 stealing bases today, make it 3 out of 4. In fact, make it, 4 out of 5? Andrews, Sherrick, Jenkins all took second base in the 1st inning. Sherrick here in the 3rd inning. And the pitch is high and inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. So they picked up some extra bases, looking much like the post 22 team does against their opponents. Wall sets. He delivers. Swung on, a foul back. 85 on that pitch from Tommy Wall. That's about the highest velocity we've seen from Tommy today. Sherrick at second. He represents the tying run here for Rock Creek in the top of the 3rd inning with 1 out. Wall looks in for the sign. Pitch on the way is bounced behind third. Fielded by Kramer. The long throw to first base in time for the out. Nice play, Justin Kramer. Behind the bag at third base. You know, he got a true hop on that too, which helped him out on this turf infield. And boy, Justin's playing just a splendid third base. 2 outs now. Still a runner at second, and Hunter Jenkins up, the designated hitter, left-handed batter.
That was an even more difficult play than it needed to be because Justin had to be mindful of the runner on second. At any time Justin threw the ball, that runner on second could have tried to take third, so he really held him off of trying to take the bag. Then he had to gun it over at first, and give all the credit to Baker because he got a great jump out of the batter's box.
Jenkins singled up the middle to drive in the 2 Rock Creek runs in the first inning. He's up here with a runner at second and 2 outs in the third. He hits a foul down the left field line, 1 strike.
Starting to see a trend with foul balls here. They are fouling just about everything off of Tommy.
Well, this is their second time to look at him now as we start the third inning. 1 strike the count. Sherrick leads from second. Wall's pitch on the way is outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sherrick walks off the bag at second. Bowman kind of behind him, trying to keep him close to the bag. Here's the set by Wall, the pitch. And it's down low and inside. 2-1 the count. Again, King is shading a little bit the opposite way towards left center on the left-handed batter, so a gap out in right center field. Here's Wall turning, but nobody standing at second base. The base runner, Sherrick, gets back to the bag. 2-1 the count on Hunter Jenkins, the cleanup hitter for Rock Creek, their DH. A left-handed batter. Here's the pitch on the way, and it's swung on, lined out into right field for a base hit. Solano gets to it quickly. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it is not in time. A sliding Kyle Sherrick is able to beat the throw from Solano, and down to second on the play goes Jenkins. Nope, he stayed at first base. RBI hit for Jenkins. 3 RBIs. He's driven in all 3 of the runs for Rock Creek. We're tied 3-3 here in the top of the third, and now Kelvin Turchin up the right fielder. He struck out swinging in the first inning. Post 22 made a big play when Paris threw out Andrews, who had opened this inning with a single. Andrews tried to steal. But since then, we've had a couple of more hits with a stolen base in there that proved big. Here's the set by Wall. The pitch on the way, and it's a ball down low, a breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. So we're all tied 3-3 here in the top half of the third inning. 3 hits in the inning now for Rock Creek. They have 4 in the game. We're in the top of the third. Wall's pitch. Low and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Couple of breaking balls from Tommy, and it's 2-0. Ferdinand holding with Jenkins at first. Wall works from the stretch. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Low and outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Tommy walked 1 and hit a batter in the first inning. He had 3 strikeouts in the first inning, but none since. Pitch on the way, and it's low and outside, ball 4. Wall gives up his second walk. Runners at first and second. Jason Hurst, the pitching coach for Post 22, will make a trip to the mound. Mark, what's that pitch total now on Tommy Wall?
Well, the next pitch out of his hand will be number 75, and I think I see Trey Everline and Dylan Ritchie both heading down to the bullpen. So which one of those two will make their appearance, yet to be seen. But it looks like both of them are going to get a couple of throws in, too, as Todd Stevens heads down to catch in the bullpen. So Hardhats working on a couple of arms just in case Tommy either can't finish out this inning or they want somebody new to start off the top half of the fourth.
So, runners at first and second. 2 out. A run in here for Rock Creek in the top of the third inning. They've tied the game at 3. Left-handed batting Bo Blowers, the third baseman, up. Struck out in the first inning. Wall from the stretch. He delivers. Low and inside for ball 1. That the 75th pitch of the game for Tommy Wall. And we're only in the third inning. Ferdinand playing behind Turchin at first base. Jenkins off of second. Wall sets. And now time is called. He takes too much time, and Blowers asks for time and steps out. One ball and no strikes. Here's the set by Wall. A look back at second. The 1-0 pitch. Too high for a ball, and it's 2-0. Another long inning for Tommy after he had a 1-2-3 second. He goes to the stretch, glances back at second. They pitch on the way, and it is a strike at the knees. 2 balls and a strike. King has centered himself up more out in center field straight away. Not as much to Blowers as he had the other left-handed batters. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Blowers again looked like he was late. He had a couple of swings. His first at bat he appeared to make up his mind too late on. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Hardhats are lucky on that, Tom, because being in the 6th spot, you like to think Blowers can hit. If his timing's on, this could be a completely different ball game here for Rock Creek.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Here's the pitch. Foul back. Count runs along at 2-2. Well, this is a game that the Hardhats are going to need the bullpen, because Tommy pitch count just won't support. If he can get out of this inning, maybe one more inning at the most. 2-2 the count. Runners lead from first and second. Wall sets. And now time is called. Tommy taking a lot of time out there. I don't remember him being this deliberate during the course of the season. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Blowers. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. A pitch up and in. And for the second time in a row, Blowers strikes out with some men on base with a runner in scoring position. But a run does score for Rock Creek in the top of the third inning. They score a run on 3 hits. There were no post 22 errors and 2 men left on base. They've stranded 3 in the game. Post 22 comes to bat in the bottom of the third inning. Rock Creek 3, Rapid City 3. You're listening and watching Post 22 Hardhat Baseball on Hardhat-TV.
With more than 300 pediatric experts in 35 specialty areas, Sanford Children's offers the care that matters to your family. At the Castle of Care, we are committed to bringing in the latest and most advanced technology and services to care for your children. And having the largest team of specialists in the region means your child can receive expert, individualized care close to home. At Sanford Children's, we promise to put your family first. To learn more, visit childrens.sanfordhealth.org. With
3-3 our score in the last half of the third inning, and Eric Petrie starts things off for post 22. Eric walked back in the first inning. Roar Grundle, who has struggled in his first couple of innings, delivers very high for ball one. Sumption and Ferdinand to follow here for post 22 in the last half of the third inning from Pullman, Washington. We're on the campus of Washington State Cougar University. Pitch is low, 2-0 on Petrie. Eric trying to get his stroke back. That bounces this one to third. It is a foul ball. 2-1 the count. He was hitting at a 13 game hitting streak, and then he injured that knee. Didn't make the trip to Denver. Hasn't quite been the same since he's returned. But he's still hitting well. There's a line drive towards the shortstop. He backhands it on the grass. Andrews' long throw to first is off target, pulling the first baseman McGruger off the bag. But boy, they had Petrie defensed well. It'll be a hit for Eric. Deep in the hole at short. So he's on with a leadoff single, and Zach Sumption coming up, the left fielder. Zach walked in the first inning. So the go-ahead run on at first base for post 22 in a 3-3 game here in the last half of the third inning. And Sumption takes the ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the set and the pitch. Inside, moves him back. 2-0 on Sumption.
Like we said earlier, if the problem with Grundle on the mound is not being able to throw strikes, then just make him throw the strikes. Just let him do his thing. If that's going to be the issue, let him walk you if that's going to be the case.
2 balls and no strikes on Sumption with Ferdinand on deck. Grundle's pitch on the way is down low, blocked by the catcher Osaka, and it's a 3-0 count. 3 balls and no strikes on the post 22 left fielder. The pitch on the way, and there's a strike called on the low outside corner. 3-1 on Sumption. Here's the pitch. Ground ball backhanded by the shortstop. Andrews throws to second. That's one. On to first. That's the double play. Nicely started by Andrews, the shortstop for Rock Creek. Boy, we're seeing some good shortstop play from obviously Cooper Bowman, but some of these opposing shortstops we've seen the last few games have played great.
Tyler Nixon on Tuesday for Bitterroot, Tanner Parker last night for Crew, and now Noah Andrews for Rock Creek. Wow.
So Sumption hits into the 6-4-3 double play. Here's Ferdinand hitting a ball deep down towards the right field corner. That's going to be in for extra bases. It's going to bounce right below the 330 sign, right down the right field line, a stand-up double for Luke. First ball hitting, Ferdinand doubles to right, his 4th double of the year. That's hit number 5 for Rapid City in the game, and with 2 outs, they get the go-ahead run at third, and Timmy Paris coming up.
Good on Luke. Saw the first pitch that he wanted to take and just drilled it. It was a great piece of hitting from him. Nice, solid swing, and just like that, the Hardhats have the go-ahead run on second in scoring position and a chance for Timmy Paris to try and make something happen.
Timmy struck out his first at-bat in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Hard ground ball foul outside of third. 1 strike the count. They play Timmy a step or two around to the left in the outfield. And stepping off the rubber is Grundle.
Short and third are playing him very much to the left side of the infield. I think the third baseman's almost on the foul line. They're playing the pole.
1 strike pitch. And it's low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
But even too, Tom, over at shortstop Andrews, he's a little far over to his right, more than you normally see a shortstop.
Yeah, he's playing in the hole at short. Here's the set by Grundle. The pitch is hit foul out of play down the right field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes now, and Timmy Paris hitting 7th in the order. Justin Kramer is on deck. We're tied 3-3 here in the last half of the 3rd inning. 2 outs for post 22. They have Ferdinand at second base. Now Paris asks for time. Rock Creek had an early 2-0 lead. Post 22 had a 3-2 lead at one point, and now it's 3-3 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's the set by Grundle. The right-hander's pitch. Breaking ball, line to right for a base hit. That might not score Ferdinand, though. Up with the ball quickly is Turchin, and they'll hold Luke at third base. So Timmy Paris gets an opposite field single. Puts runners at the corners with 2 out to bring up Justin Kramer. Turchin did a good job to get to the ball quickly. He wasn't playing that deep in right field, and the ball was hit rather sharply, and no chance for Ferdinand to try to score from second base. So runners at the corners, that's the 3rd hit of the inning. Here's Kramer up, and the pitch is down low in the dirt for ball 1. Justin grounded out to first baseman McGruger, who made a nice play on him and threw to the pitcher for an out in the 2nd. Carter Deming is coming in to pinch run now for Paris at first base as the courtesy runner. In the tournament, they allow that for the catcher only. 1 ball, the count on Kramer. Runners at first and third. Here's the pitch. Strike on the outside edge. And that evens the count off at a ball and a strike. The Palouse Summer Series at Washington State University in cooperation with the Palouse Baseball Association. Fastball outside, and the count runs to 2-1 on Kramer. Each pool has 5 teams, so you'll play 4 games within your pool. The 4 pool champions play in the semifinals and finals on Sunday, right here. The final championship game at Washington State. Paris, or rather Deming, driven back to the bag at first by Grundle on his throw over there. Ferdinand the runner at third, Deming at first. Kramer at the plate. Here's the pitch. Check swing, and it's low. And the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the set. Grundle's pitch. Kramer takes a strike on the low inside corner, and it's a full count. So Deming will be off and running from first base on this 3-2 pitch. Down the line at third is Ferdinand. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the left of home plate. Count runs along at 3-2. Connor King is on deck for post 22. Here's the set by Grundle. The pitch. Swung on a ground ball. Grundle knocks it down on the pitching mound and throws to first for the out. So a nice fielding play by Bror Grundle, the pitcher, on a 1-3 put out of Kramer. And post 22 fails to score in the 3rd. No runs, 3 hits in the inning, and 2 men left on base. At the end of 3, Rock Creek 3, the Hardhats 3. You're watching Post 22 Baseball on Hardhat-TV.
Three innings have been played here at Bailey Brayton Field in Washington State University, and in 3 innings, both teams have scored 3 runs. So now we gear up for the top half of the 4th. The Hardhats back to their respective defensive positions, and Tommy Wall is back on the mound, set to throw what will be his 81st pitch in this start to the bottom third of the Rock Creek order. For Rock Creek, it's 3 runs on 4 hits, with 1 error in the field, and the Hardhats, it's 3 runs on 6 hits. No errors. First pitch to the 7-hole hitter. Henry Murphy's hitting foul territory. Ferdinand's got a break on it, and it just skips over the fence. First base side. Murphy starts off with an 0-1 count, but Luke Ferdinand so close to retiring that first batter. Murphy on the ballgame 0-for-1 for Rock Creek. Flew out to Zach Solano out in right field. Tommy Wall right back to it. Full windup, and he deals the 0-1. Swung on, and that ball's pushed high in the air to left. Sumption tracks it, and it's just in front of him and lands for a base hit. So Murphy gets a leadoff single, and that'll bring up J.V. Magruder, the first baseman, who's 0-for-1 with a ground out to third. Mark Benetti and Tom Rudabush alongside you for all the action here in the Palouse Summer Series, as well as the entire season. Today we're on Hardhats-TV only. Tomorrow we will also be on Hardhats-TV only as Post 22 takes on Toyota Baseball. First pitch to Magruder. It skips in front of Paris, and taking advantage of second base is Henry Murphy. So the passed ball will put a man in scoring position here for Rock Creek. Want to know the starting count here to Magruder, and that's not the start the Hardhats wanted to get off to here at the top of the 4th. Kia Osaka, the catcher, is on deck, also 0-for-1. Hardhats now have a very early runner in scoring position to try and defend against. 1-0 to Magruder. Pitch misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. Tommy Wall has 4 strikeouts in this start, compared to just a pair of bases on balls and 1 hit batsman. 2-0 from Wall to Magruder. Swung on, ball is chopped foul. Third base side, and the count goes now to 2 balls and a strike. Nice fielding there by Billy Boyer, the head coach of Rock Creek. He was there to barehanded in the coach's box. 2-1 now the count from Wall to Magruder. Magruder has a man on second, no one out here in the top of the 4th. We're all square at 3 runs aside. 2-1. Just missed high. 3 balls and a strike the count. Tommy was hoping that count would even up at 2-2. Instead, 3 balls and a strike. Tommy checks the runner at second, and Henry Murphy. And deals his 3-1. Swung on and missed. And now the count goes full. This is the 5th time that Tommy Wallace had to throw a payoff pitch. 1 time issued a base on balls, 1 time issued a hit. The other 2 times he was able to retire the batter. 1 with a strikeout, 1 with a ground out. Payoff pitch from Wall. Swung on, and that ball's pushed high in the air into right center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Solano comes in to field it. He rips that cannon off as the ball comes into Walker Paws. The run's going to score anyway. So it's an RBI single for J.V. Magruder And Rock Creek, once again, is back on top of the Hardhats in this seesaw affair. 4-3 is now the score, with a man on first and no one out here at the top of the fourth. And it looks like the start and day of Tommy Wall has come to its conclusion after 88 pitches and 4+ innings of work. And I believe, if I see this correctly, coming out for post 22 is Trey Eberline. So it looks like the start of Tommy Wall will end at 4+ innings of work, 4 runs allowed, all of which were earned. He ended up walking 2. He struck out 4, hit 1, and also allowed 6 hits. He's still responsible for the gentleman on first, and that is J.V. Magruder. But now Trey Eberline comes out to take his warm-up pitches. So we'll catch you up on everything you need to know about number 27. 16 2/3 innings of work for Trey Eberline coming into this relief appearance. This will be the 11th time that he has appeared in a game, his 10th by virtue of relief. He's 3 for 3 in save opportunities. He has a 1-0 record, so if the Hardhats can take the lead here, he would be the pitcher of record. 16 strikeouts, 15 walks, 2 hit batsmen on the season, and a 2.52 ERA. Now, it's been a talking point of this pitching staff all season long, Tom, how the Hardhats pitchers, the vast majority of them, are 1 for 1 on their ratios of strikeouts to walks, and unfortunately, Trey is hovering right around that 16 Ks to 15 BBs.
And you hope to see that improve as the season goes on with a lot more games and you get into the pitching staff. Some of the games for post 22 this year, the starters have pitched 5-inning games because of the 10-run rule, and the bullpen really at times wasn't really overused by any stretch of the imagination. So now, in this tournament, our second game, and we're already into the bullpen here in the 4th inning with nobody out for Rock Creek, and they've taken a 4-3 lead.
Looks like Trey is pretty much done with his warm-up pitches. Everybody else back to their respective defensive positions in the infield. Keep in mind, J.V. Magruder is still on first. There's no one out here in the top of the 4th. And the Hardhats are trailing for the second time in this ball game. The score is now 4-3 for Rock Creek. Rock Creek has their 4 runs, the power of 6 hits. Tommy Wall is still responsible for Magruder, who had the RBI single. So now here comes Kia Osaka, the 9-hole hitter and catcher. He tries to bunt, overextended on a way wide pitch. And he is behind 0-1, trying to get that bunt down.
Coach Boyer in the third base coach's box just looked up into the sky, held that pose for about 3 seconds as his hitter looked over at him and saying, "What are you doing?"
Osaka couldn't drop the bunt as it goes foul first base side. So unless he is feeling really lucky, I don't think we're going to see him drop down to bunt. With that man on first, he had a chance to sacrifice himself and put the runner on first in Magruder in scoring position, but just didn't work out for him. So Trey Eberline ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Be big for his confidence to get the K here. Eberline deals the 0-2. Osaka tried to bunt. Eberline gets the catch. Throw to first is in time. Are you kidding me? Osaka went for the bunt. It was popped right to Eberline. He throws to first, and just like that, the Hardhats double him up on the base path.
Post 22's 38th double play of the season. In this, their 34th game. 2 outs now and nobody on.
Tom, could you believe that just happened?
Well, Eberline's very athletic. I mean, he's certainly capable of making plays like that.
Noah Andrews, the shortstop, his first pitch rides high for a ball. 1-0 the count, and I'm certainly not doubting that. What I'm really getting at is, why did Osaka go for the bunt on 0-2?
Well, he is hitting 9, and they may have felt that was the best option for him.
1-0, swung on, and ball's hit high in the air to left field, and that is going to drop for a foul ball. Just missed foul. And I got to be honest with you, Tom. That looked like it was pegged for a ground rule double. I thought that ball landed inside the white line. But the home plate umpire made the call. It's a foul ball, and counts evened up 1-1 for Noah Andrews.
Boy, we've had some of those. We had 2 of those at Bitterroot the other night, one down each line that we were just very close. One was ruled a foul, and the other one was ruled, I think, fair.
Ball and a strike now. The count from Eberline. 2 outs. Base path is empty, and the pitch is outside. 2 balls and a strike now from Eberline to Noah Andrews, who is 1 for 1 with a hit by pitch and a single. He is 1 for 2 on stolen bases in this ball game and came around to score once. So 2-1 now his count. Hardhats narrowly avoiding 2-out chaos. Andrews blasted the ball down the left field line. It just went foul. Here's the 2-1. Check swing right back to Eberline on the mound. He gets the scoop. Easy toss to first in time. So 1-3 in the scorebook ends the top half of the fourth. We have officially concluded half the ball game here. Post 22 now trails 4-3. In that top of the fourth, there was 1 run on the power of 2 hits. There were no defensive errors charged to post 22. Nobody left on the base path. We're at halftime, if you will, of the ball game. Hardhats trail 4-3 with 9-1-2 in the order due up. Connor King scheduled to hit first. We'll be right back in just a few moments as you are watching all season long here on Post 22 Baseball via Hardhats-TV.
Great faces, great places. Wet paint? Yep. And around here, when great places need a little love, great faces band together. Each year, First Interstate Bank employees help local organizations put a fresh coat of paint on homes of those in need. A small gesture, perhaps, but one that puts smiles on faces and strengthens bonds in the places we serve. First Interstate Bank. It's you and I together.
All set now for the Hardhats to transition from defense to offense. Hardhats trail 4-3 here as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Officially, half the game has been concluded. And the Hardhats will send Connor King, Walker Paz, and Zach Solano to the batter's box in this bottom half of the fourth. Numbers across the board. For Post 22 now up to bat, they trail 4-3. For them, it's 3 runs on 6 hits with no errors defensively. And on the other side, for Rock Creek, it's 4 runs on 6 hits, 1 error defensively. Connor King is set to lead off this bottom half of the fourth. The left-handed hitting center fielder is 0 for 1 on the ball game. He reached on an E3. Error on the first baseman back in the bottom half of the second. Roar Grundle is still on the mound here for Rock Creek, starting his 4th inning of work. And his first pitch to Connor King is swung on and fouled off the end of his bat. 0-1 the count here to King. We actually have a new pitcher on the mound for Rock Creek. That is Austin Wilson, who's taken over. And Wilson's 0-1 pitch is outside to King, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. I misidentified the number. I thought I saw a 12. Instead, it was a 14. So Austin Wilson takes over after Borg Rundle goes 3 innings of work. 1-1 to King. Rides high, 2-1. 3 innings of work. He allowed 6 hits. Rundle didn't struck out 1 in the start. 2-1 now from Wilson. Swung on and fouled. And the count evens up 2-2. He walked 3, and 1 of his 3 runs that were scored on him were not earned. So 2 earned runs on 3 allowed. 2-2 to King. Misses low and away, and the count goes full. So Austin Wilson now on the mound for Rock Creek. 2-2 payoff pitch, and it's ball 4. Got a little distracted there by the scoreboard. It's reading 2-2. So there's the base on balls now to Walker Paz. Pause on the ball game, 1 for 2. A single, ground out to second. Connor King gets the trot to first. So the leadoff man is on for the Hardhats. Back-to-back innings. That's been accomplished. And the first pitch to Paz rides up high for ball 1. So 1-0. Soon to be dealt by Austin Wilson, the new pitcher.
We got to give Destin Heumann, our director, a lot of credit, Mark, is those who are watching Hardhat-TV, Destin now has a little thing up by the scoreboard where you can see the score. He's got the miles per hour, so they can track each pitch as it comes in, the speed of that pitch. Destin's been working hard today. He always works hard. I didn't mean it that way.
Here's the 1-0 to Paz. Swung on, and that ball is pulled into right center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Walker Paz is going to round second. He is taking off for third. Connor King rounds third. He scores all the way from first. It's an RBI triple for Walker Paz. And get this, Tom, we're squared up once again. It's 4-4.
Turchin took a terrible angle at that ball, and he's walking back to his position knowing that, man, I could have caught that ball had he taken the right angle, I think, towards it. But he came in, and instead of moving laterally and back, and that really cost him. 4-4 now, a triple for Paz. Is that his first three-bagger of the year? Yes. 23 RBIs.
That brings up Zach Solano with a chance for a sacrifice fly to knock in the go-ahead run for post 22. And he looks at ball 1 high and inside from Austin Wilson. Solano on the ball game is 0 for 2. He has a pair of flyouts to center field and Kyle Sherrick. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and fouled to the right of our press box, and the count evens up with the ball and a strike. So Walker Paz gets the RBI 3-bagger, and that ties up the ball game at 4 aside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. And Wilson deals. That pitch is low in the turf. 2 balls and a strike. Cooper Bowman patiently waiting in the on-deck circle. Ball, 2 balls and a strike to count here to Solano. Next pitch is fouled, and the count evens up 2-2. So 2-2 now the count here to Solano. Looking to drive in Walker Paz and give the Hardhats another lead. Right now we are all square up at 4 runs on either side. Right side of the infield is in. Next pitch is swung on and pulled just foul. Third base side, and the count will hold even at 2-2. Solano steps back into the batter's box. Wilson patiently waiting. Again, right side of the infield is in. First baseman Magruder, second baseman Murphy. Almost on the grass. 2-2. Breaking ball doesn't break down, and the count goes full. Payoff pitch now to Zach Solano from Austin Wilson. His third batter faced in relief. He has yet to register an out. Could do so on the next pitch. Payoff pitch from Wilson to Solano. Caught him looking. Strike 3. Fastball at his knees. Outside corner. So that's a backwards K in the book. 1 down for the Hardhats. Walker Paz still 90 feet away from home. And that is going to bring up a smoking, red-hot Cooper Bowman, who has hit in 7 consecutive at-bats over the last 3 games. Today, he is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. First pitch swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to center field. Sherrick is tracking it, and the ball's over his head. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Cooper around second. He is going in for 3. Walker Paz gets the easy trot in home. It's another RBI triple in the inning for the Hardhats. This one courtesy of Cooper Bowman. The Hardhats are on top. It's 5-4. Still with 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th.
3 RBIs in the game now for Cooper Bowman. He's got 49 on the year. He went into the game last night tied with Zach Solano, each at 39. And all of a sudden, Cooper now with 10 RBIs in his last 2 games.
just insane. Here comes Eric Petrie, and he looks at a first pitch ball low from Austin Wilson. 1-0 now the count. Petrie on the ball game is 1 for 1. He walked, was stranded at third, and he singled to lead off the bottom half of the third inning. He has Cooper Bowman 90 feet to his left. 1-0. Pitch is up high. 2 balls, no strikes now to Petrie. Hardhats have a 5-4 lead over Rock Creek. 1 out and a man on third here in the bottom of the fourth, with post 22 at bat. The infield is in. All 4 positions are right on the fringe of the grass. 2-0. Misses low and away. 3 balls, no strikes to count. And Eric Petrie is a pitch away from his second free pass of the ballgame. 3 balls, no strikes to count. And the 3-0 to Petrie. Misses low. It's a 4-pitch walk. So Petrie will take a free trot to first. It'll now be men on the corners, and that brings up Zach Sumption, who is 0 for 1 with a base on balls. And he also hit into a 6-4-3 double play. And now the assistant coach, Dave Wainhouse of Rock Creek, is going to come out and have a quick chat with Kia Osaka, the catcher, and his relief pitcher, Austin Wilson. So a 4-pitch walk for Eric Petrie puts him on first. Cooper Bowman still standing on third with that RBI triple. And now Zach Sumption has a chance to knock in Bowman and give the Hardhats their first multi-run lead of the ballgame.
See, the Washington State coach has left. He's probably gone down to find a letter of intent in his desk.
Oh, Cooper's playing like it right now. He has hit 8 consecutive at-bats, and you know, of all the stats that we brought up, Tom, that's got to be the most impressive. It has been incredibly tough to retire Cooper Bowman as of recently.
Well, your stat that you just stated a few moments ago verifies that. I mean, that's an incredible streak.
8 consecutive at-bats in which he's hit. I have to go back in the commercial break and tabulate how many of those have been extra base hits. Here comes Zach Sumption. Conference is over. His first pitch, a called strike at his knees. Fastball comes in from Wilson. Flirting with the outside corner of the plate. 0-1 starting count to Sumption. Sumption's again 0 for 1. Base on balls. He grounded into a 6-4-3 double play back in the third. His 0-1 pitch is an off-speed pitch that just misses low. Wilson trying to frame the same part, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Luke Ferdinand on deck. He's fresh off of a double from his last at-bat. Men on the corners here for Sumption, and 1 out, bottom of the fourth. 1-1, swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to left center field. Sharrock is giving chase, and the ball is over his head. It's once again going to go all the way to the wall. Sumption's going to hang on at second, and holding at third is Eric Petrie. But he knocks in Cooper Bowman. It's a 1-out RBI double for Sumption. Hardhats have their first multi-run lead of the game. It's 6-4.
You know, it's interesting, Mark. I can't find a flag here. So it's hard to judge if the wind was blowing, but I'm convinced now that we do have some breeze blowing out towards center. Those balls were hit hard by Bowman and Sumption, no question about it, but I think they got a little boost from the wind too. So this is going to be all it looks like for Wilson.
Absolutely right. Austin Wilson now getting the big mound visit from the head coach, Billy Boyer. And it looks like, if I'm seeing this, either they're waiting for somebody to come out of the bullpen. I thought the second baseman and Murphy was going to step up for a brief moment. But it looks like they have gone to the bullpen for a left-handed pitcher. And if we can catch a license plate, we'll let you know just exactly who this gentleman is that'll now be throwing for Rock Creek.
3 runs in the inning for post 22. They've had 3 hits in the inning. They've got 9 hits in the game now, and they lead 6-4.
And it looks like that's Jaden Nelson that is out on the mound, number 26. So Jaden Nelson, the lefty, will take over for Austin Wilson, who only came out and pitched a third of an inning. And in this inning, he led up 3 hits. All of them were extra base hits. And like Tom mentioned, he allowed 3 runs. All of those were earned. He struck out 1, he walked 1, and he did it all on 23 pitches of relief. So Jaden Nelson, lefty, now taking his warm-up pitches. And the first pitch batter that he will face is Luke Ferdinand. So he starts off for the lefty-on-lefty matchup. And again, Ferdinand is 1 for 1. He had an RBI base on balls in the bottom half of the first. That came with the bases loaded. Knocked across the first hard hat run, which was, surprise, surprise, Cooper Bowman. And then he doubled the last time he was up. That was back in the bottom half of the third. However, he was stranded at third base. Coach Messer talking with his base runners. He has Zach Sumption on second with an RBI double. He has Eric Petrie on third. He walked to get on the base path. Making sure that they are mindful of their scenario. There's one out, so if you're third base, if there's a fly ball to the outfield, tag and go. If you're on second, exercise the virtue of patience.
Well, Nelson is a off-speed pitcher. He's not going to blow the ball by you, and he's going to have to be able to locate the ball well and get his breaking ball over to be effective.
So the first test for Nelson is Luke Ferdinand, the left-handed hitting first baseman for the Hardhats. He has 2 runners in scoring position and 1 out here in the bottom half of the fourth. Hardhats have played it 3. They have a 6-4 lead. They have the shift on for Ferdinand, and his first pitch is a called strike. Outside corner at his knees. 0-1 the count here to Ferdinand. I think this is the first time we've seen a shift all season, Tom.
That shift means the shortstop is on the right field side of the second base bag. So there are 3 infielders lined up almost to the edge of the grass. First, second, and shortstop. All in a straight line. They're playing about 2-3 feet behind the infield turf. And the third baseman, Blowers, is about 10 feet off the bag at third. So there is a tremendous hole on the left side of the infield. Obviously, they're trying to distract Luke a little bit.
Here's his 0-1 pitch. That misses low, and the count evens up 1-1. Well, Luke placed a double down the right field line, so his hitting's improved as of recently. Maybe he can place one in the gap right there on the left side of the infield. 1-1 from Nelson to Ferdinand. That misses low. No, I'm sorry. That's called a strike. Outside corner, low and away. At the knees, a ball and 2 strikes now. The count here to Ferdinand. So now Ferdinand has to protect with a ball and 2 strikes as his count. Nelson from the stretch. 1-2. Skips low, and the count evens up 2-2. 90 feet to Ferdinand's left on third is Petrie. 90 feet behind Petrie is Sumption on second. 1 out bottom of the fourth. Hardhats up 2. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, but the ball goes all the way to the backdrop. Everybody's going to advance a base. Ferdinand safe at first. Eric Petrie will score, and Zach Sumption goes to third. And the Hardhats now have a 7-4 lead with 1 out and men on the corners here in the bottom of the fourth, bringing up Timmy Paris. So now it's first and third for the Hardhats catcher, who is 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single, the single coming in his most recent at-bat. And first pitch to Paris. Called strike, fastball in the outside corner. 0-1 the count to the Hardhat catcher as he takes on the lefty in Jaden Nelson. 0-1 from Nelson. Breaking ball just missed inside. And the count evens up at 1-1 now to Paris. Justin Kramer is on deck if the double play doesn't end the inning. 1-1. Way outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Thank goodness we have such beautiful weather here up in the Twin Cities. The White Sox and Twins had a 4-hour, 40-minute rain delay before they started.
Yikes.
Twins didn't come back on the field, though. The White Sox lead 7-0 in the 4th inning.
That's terrible. 1-1 to Paris. Called strike outside corner on a fastball.
Can you imagine you bought a ticket for that game and 4 hours and 40 minutes?
2 balls, 2 strikes now the count here to Paris. Hardhats now have a 7-4 lead over Rock Creek. And the 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and it's hit too short. Stop is made on the run by Andrews. He tried to go for the fancy backhander and the ball skies over the head of Murphy, the second baseman. So a completely unnecessary E6, and the Hardhats now have men on first and second. They've knocked in another run, and their lead is now 8-4.
And look at the poor pitcher Nelson. He strikes out a batter, and he reaches. There's a bouncer to short. The batter reaches. I mean, these pitchers that Post 22 has been able to play against have been helped out considerably by some very porous defense.
So now it's an 8-4 lead for the Hardhats. 1 out. They've officially batted through the entire lineup as Justin Kramer now takes some swings, and his first pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. He starts behind 0-1. Kramer has 2 groundouts. He's 0 for 2, 3-1 and 1-3 in the scorebook. First to pitcher covering first and pitcher to first. Men on first and second for Kramer and 1 out. 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball, called strike. A nice curveball from Nelson.
At 57 miles per hour. That's not even the speed limit. He can 57 mile per hour big slow curveball.
So no balls, 2 strikes to count. And Kramer watches. Ball 1 on the outside corner. 1-2 now the count. With Connor King on deck. And should the double play not end the inning, he will be the 10th batter in this frame. 1-2 to Kramer. Swung on and fouled, and the hard-hat third baseman stays alive. Standing on second, Luke Ferdinand. On first is Carter Deming into pinch run, rather courtesy run for Timmy Paris. 1-2 to Kramer. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 on that breaking pitch inside. So that is the second strikeout of the inning for Nelson. However, it's the first of those 2 that actually registers an out, and that's going to bring us back to the 9-hole hitter, to Connor King, who was batting for the second time in this frame. Connor King, 0 for 1, reached on an error and walked, scored both times. First pitch, a breaking ball, outside corner, called strike. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup. Nelson working that curveball very well.
Yeah, he heated up on that one, though. 61 miles an hour.
Still under the speed limit.
He throws a very slow breaking ball. Big bender.
Time's called just before Nelson gets rid of the ball. No balls and a strike to count to Connor King. King again with men on first and second. Ferdinand's on second in scoring position, the most immediate threat on the base path. Carter Deming, courtesy running on first. Next pitch to to Connor King, misses outside. And count evens up at a ball and a strike. One to King. He thought about squaring to bunt. Instead, he pulled back, and on the inside, he draws ball 2. 2-1 now to King. Then on first and second, bottom of the 4th, the Hardhats have played at 5. They have an 8-4 advantage over Rock Creek in Game 2 of the Palouse Summer Series. 2-1. Breaking ball fouled. And the count evens up at 2-2 for King. Nelson is the 3rd pitcher used in this ballgame, 2nd in relief, and 2nd relief pitcher used in this inning in particular. Austin Wilson went the first 3rd. Allowed 3 runs on 3 hits. 2-2. Swung on, and that's fouled. And the count will hold even at 2-2. My apologies, he allowed 4 runs. So 7 of the 8 runs have come from the first 2 pitchers of the ball game. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And 2-2 to King. Too far inside. And no, they're saying that fouled off and went into the glove for strike 3. Connor King can't believe it. Awfully close. But that is the 3rd strikeout for Nelson, and that will retire the side. Oh, the Hardhats played 5 runs. They do so on the power of 3 hits. There was 1 error charged to the infield defense of Rock Creek, and there were 2 men left on the base path, 1 in scoring position. 4 innings have been completed, folks. The Hardhats have pulled away. They have an 8-4 lead. We'll be right back in just a few moments with the top half of the 5th, and Trey Eberlein coming back on the mound here on Hardhats-TV, which you can find all season long on post22baseball.com. Well, the Hardhats transition back to their respective defensive positions. Trey Eberlein back on the mound in his 2nd inning of relief for Post 22.
Tomorrow we'll be on the air at 2 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time as Post 22 takes on Toyota Baseball out of the Seattle area. Again, our broadcast here on Hardhat-TV, only Hardhat-TV tomorrow again at 2 p.m. Rapid City time.
Hardhats have an 8-4 lead as Eberlein will face 2, 3, and 4 in the order for Rock Creek. Kyle Shark, the left-handed hitting center fielder, is the first one due up. 1 for 1 with a base on balls, a single, 2 for 2 on stolen bases, and a pair of runs scored. He looks at ball 1 low and away from Eberlein. Mark Benetti and Tom Brudabush alongside you for all the action today and for the rest of this road trip. Well, let's put it this way, the whole season too, why not? 1-0. That's a called strike at the knees of Shark, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Hardhats have an 8-4 lead over Rock Creek here. Top half of the 5th. Base path is empty for the leadoff hitter in Shark. Next pitch is swung on and hits a short. Pullman can't come up with the scoop. It goes right by him and into center field. An awfully close play. Pullman just couldn't get the scoop. So man on first, that's going to bring up Dawson Baker.
Hit number 7 in the game for Rock Creek.
So that's now 4 runs on 7 hits for Rock Creek in the ballgame. For the Hardhats, it's 8 runs on 9 hits. 2 errors charged to Rock Creek. First pitch swung on, and that's turned on to left field. Underneath it, though, is Zach Sumption, and he's going to make the catch. So Dawson Baker retired on an F7. He's now 0 for 3 on the ballgame. 1 out, double play ball in effect to end the inning. That's going to bring up Hunter Jenkins, the left-handed hitting designated hitter. And Jenkins is red hot for Rock Creek. 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and 3 runs batted in. So Eberlein checks his runner at first in Sherrick, and the check down is not there in time. So Hunter Jenkins, the DH, looking to continue dealing damage. Eberlein, a quick glance back to first. And his first pitch to Jenkins is low and inside for ball 1. Calvin Turchin, the right fielder, is on deck should the double play not end the inning. 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. One ball, no strikes, the count from Eberlein to Jenkins. There's a man on first. And the next pitch rides too far inside. 2-0 now the count to Jenkins. Two balls, no strikes. Eberlein will come from the stretch again. And 2-0 to Jenkins. Called strike at his knees. Fastball coming from Eberlein. 2-1 now the count. Hardhats have an 8-4 lead here in the top of the fifth. They're looking to keep it that way. 2-1 from Eberline. Rides upstairs. 3 balls in a strike. And Timmy Paris flared off his arm just to scare Sherrick back to first. (3-1) from Eberline. Swung on, and that ball's popped up. It's still in the field of play. Ferdinand comes over from first, and he makes the catch. A very difficult one at that, as the ball looked like it gained some crazy spin and almost backed up Ferdinand all the way back to first. But he makes the catch, a pop 3. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Calvin Turchin. So Turchin comes up 0 for 1 on the ball game. Right-handed hitting right fielder. Strikeout and a base on balls on his at line. Eberline, check down to first, not there in time. Bo Blowers, the third baseman, also a lefty, is on deck. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts if we get that far. 2 outs and a man on first, and the first pitch from Eberline to Turchin. This is low and away for ball 1. Hardhats are up 8-4 thanks to a 5 spot in the bottom half of the fourth. 5 runs on 3 hits and 1 error charged to Rock Creek. Here's the 1-0 from Eberline. Called, strike at his knees. And the count evens up to a ball and a strike. Should Turchin be the final out, the Hardhats will go back to the top of the order to start off the bottom of the fifth. That's Walker Paz, Zach Solano, and Cooper Bowman scheduled to hit. 1-1. High and away. 2 balls and a strike now the count. So 2-1 now to Turchin. Eberline trying to work a second full inning in relief, and he deals a 2-1. Swung on and missed on a half swing, if you will. Wasn't a check because he went the full way through. He was just incredibly indecisive. 2-2 now to Turchin. Man on first, 2 outs, top of the fifth. Rock Creek is down 4 runs to your post-22 Hardhats. And time is called by Turchin. He'll step out and take some time to think about the upcoming 2-2 pitch. Two balls, 2 strikes to count. And Eberline deals high and inside, buzzes the tower, and the count goes full. First payoff pitch, Eberline has had to deal in relief. He's retired both batters that he's seen. The only person to get on board, Tommy Wall led off with Kyle Sherrick. He's singled. He's standing on first. Payoff pitch from Eberline. Swung on and fouled. And Turchin stays alive. Eight to 4 is the Hardhats lead. And the payoff again. Swung on, and the ball's hit to the left side of the infield. Bowman gets the stop. His throw to first is not in time. What a stellar effort by Cooper Bowman in short. Just couldn't make the throw there in time, so it's a well-earned infield single for Calvin Turchin. Men on first and second with 2 outs, and that's going to bring us to Bo Blowers. So now here comes Blowers, the left-handed hitting third baseman, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks in the book. Number 2 and number 4 from Tommy Wall in his start. First pitch from Eberline's high and inside for ball 1. So 1-0 the count here to Blowers, who has a chance to potentially knock in a run. He has a man in scoring position on second and a man behind him at first. 2 outs, top of the fifth. The Hardhats still with an 8-4 lead. Here's a 1-0. just missed outside, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Eberline takes his time, and from the stretch, deals his 2-0. Called, strike at his knees, outside corner. And the count's now 2 balls and a strike from Eberline to Bo Blowers. Henry Murphy, the second baseman's on deck if we get that far, with 2 outs. 1 for 2 with a single, a pass ball that allowed him to advance on the base path. He came around to score. 2-1's fouled. And Eberline has now pushed the count even at 2-2 against Blowers. Should Blowers be the final out, the Hardhats will go back to the top of the order in the 5th. In the bottom half of the 5th, I should say. Walker Paz, Zach Solano, and Cooper Bowman do up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Eberline looking for his first K in relief. Deals his 2-2. Swung out and missed. Strike 3. And that will end the top half of the 5th inning. No runs on a pair of hits. No errors. Charged to post 22. 2 men left on the base path for Rock Creek. And at the end of 4.5, the Hardhats are still in the driver's seat. 8-4 is their lead. Walker Paz, Zach Solano, Cooper Bowman scheduled to hit. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks, with the bottom half of the 5th inning. You are listening to and watching Hardhats-TV, which can be found all season long on post22baseball.com.
Camping World is here to help you connect to adventure and explore the outdoors with friends and family, offering new and pre-owned RVs to fit every budget and thousands of parts and accessories for any need. Camping World has it all. With over 125 supercenters nationwide, you're never far from America's #1 RV dealer. No matter where your adventures take you, whether you need an RV, parts, or service, Camping World is here to help you every step of the way. Visit Camping World in Rapid City or shop campingworld.com today.
Well, Tom's going in to check in on something for us real quick. While he's doing that, we'll remind you that Post 22 has an 8-4 lead over Rock Creek as we now head into the bottom half of the 5th. And it looks like we have another new pitcher on the mound. And it looks like Dawson Baker has come in from left field to pitch for Rock Creek, which means that there is a new left fielder in play for Rock Creek on defense. So we'll have to find out just exactly who that gentleman is in left field. But in the meantime, Baker will face Walker Paz, and he throws his first pitch. He throws sidearm style, so it looks kind of awkward, and his is way outside for ball 1 to Walker Paz.
Well, Mark, they are enforcing that 2-hour, 10-minute rule per game.
If my math is correct, Tom, I think we're 6 minutes away from hitting that 2-hour and 10-minute rule.
New left fielder is J.B. Magruder. So he moves from
first to left.
First to left.
Walker Paz, by the way, looking at a big count here of 3 balls and no strikes.
Hunter Jenkins is at first base.
So the DH is now in play. And the 3-0 is low for ball 4 to Walker Paz. So Paz gets a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Zach Solano with nobody out here in the bottom half of the 5th. The leadoff man is aboard. So Jenkins, the DH, now at first. Magruder now out in left. That means that the DH has been lost by Rock Creek.
If you're wondering what I was talking about moments ago about the time limit, no inning in this tournament can start after the game has reached 2 hours and 10 minutes old.
Next pitch to Solano, called strike, and he's behind 0-1 to start off. Solano 0 for 3.
I don't see any scenario how we're going to get to the 6th inning.
I don't either, in which case, would they just call the game right at 2 hours and 10 minutes? Check down to first, not there in time, because The Hardhats are in the driver's seat, and if they're not retired, we're going to hit that 2 hours and 10 minutes. Wouldn't they just end it?
I don't know. That's a good question because it won't mean anything. The game is already over.
Runner goes. 0-1 is swung on and hit to short. Andrews, the stop throw to first to Jenkins is in time. So 6-3 will retire Solano, but it advances Walker Paz. Clear hit and run. One down, a man on second. That's going to bring up Cooper Bowman, who has hit 8 consecutive at-bats, including 3 for 3 today, with a pair of singles, a triple, and 3 runs of the 8 batted in for the Hardhats.
I wrote down our starting time as 2:56 this afternoon. Now, the interesting question also is the game was scheduled to start at 3, which would put that 2-hour, 10-minute time limit at 5:10. The scoreboard clock is 5:02 right now.
Bowman looks at a first pitch strike outside corner from the sidewinding Baker. Next pitch swung on, and that ball is hit high in the air to shallow left. Andrews some shorts underneath it. He's called off by his left fielder, Magruder, and he retires Bowman. So Bowman's streak of consecutive hits stops at 8 at-bats. 2 down, a man on second. That's going to bring up Eric Petrie. Now, to your point, does the game end in 3 minutes or does the game end in 7 minutes, if that's the case?
Isn't that exciting, fans, to wait to see what happens?
The plot thickens. Here comes Petrie, and his first pitch buzzes the tower high and inside.
And they do this to try to keep the tournament on schedule. But it is kind of a odd rule. We've seen it, as we said last night, before a few other tournaments over the years, but not recently.
1-0 to Petrie. Swung on, and he pushes that one into right field, and the ball is caught on the play by right fielder Calvin Turchin, and that will end the bottom half of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, but there was a man left on the base path in scoring position for the Hardhats. 5 full innings have been played. I guess we will get one more in this ball game. Hardhats have an 8-4 lead. We'll be right back in just a few moments with the top of the 6th. You're listening to Hardhats-TV. Also watching the ball game on Hardhats-TV, which can be found all season long on post22baseball.com.
Why do so many business people trust us? Well, we're pretty nice folks, of course, and we really know our stuff. Black Hills Insurance, a tradition of service since 1949.
Five innings have been played here at Bailey Braden Field in Pullman, Washington, here on the campus of Washington State University. What a gorgeous ballpark we're playing at this afternoon. We can see John Ulridge, retired number 18, out in the right field wall, along with 2 other retired numbers. Post 22 with an 8-4 lead here over Rock Creek in day 2 of the Palouse Summer Series. They won Game 1 against the Crew Baseball Club 10-0 last night, and are in the driver's seat in this contest. Trey Eberline back out in relief, and the first pitch that he deals to number 7 in the order, Henry Murphy of Rock Creek, is ball 1 outside.
And that comes with 2 hours and 9 minutes. So they even made it legally.
1-0, called strike on the inside part of the plate. Ball and a strike now, the count here to Murphy. He comes into this at-bat 1 for 2 with a fly out to right and a single. Came around to score 1 of 4 Rock Creek runs. Full windup for Everline. 1-1. Misses low and away, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike.
And to kind of clarify again, if Rock Creek, let's say, scored 5 runs in the top half of this inning to take the lead, Post 22 would still get their at-bat in the bottom of the 6th inning. But if Rock Creek doesn't score or doesn't tie the game, I think the game will be over.
I would think so, too, as Eberline deals strike 2 on the outside corner. 2-2 now the count here to Murphy. Because if the game's already over by the time limit and the Hardhats are in the driver's seat, what's the point? 2-2. Just missed low on a check swing, and the count goes full to Henry Murphy.
I love how you use your South Carolina education to figure these things out.
Gamecock ingenuity, what can I say? Payoff pitch to Murphy. Rides upstairs, ball 4. So Eberlein deals a leadoff base on balls to Murphy. That's going to bring up J.V. Magruder, who was the first baseman. Now he is patrolling left field. So Magruder has a man on first with no one out. He's 1 for 2, fresh off of an RBI single in his last at-bat. That came in the top half of the 4th inning. Post 22 with an 8-4 lead. No one out here in the top of the 6th, and now a man on first. And the first pitch, called strike at the knees of Magruder. He's behind 0-1. Kia Osaka, the catcher, is on deck. He's 0 for 2, including bunting into a double play. Don't think those words have ever been spoken before. 0-1, rides up high for ball 1. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike now from Eberlein to Magruder. For the fans that didn't get to watch it, Osaka, with 2 strikes, tried to bunt. It popped right to Eberlein. He caught it, gunned it down to first, and that was that. 1-1 pitch. That rides inside. 2 balls and a strike now the count. 2-1 now to J.V. Magruder, the left fielder. 1 for 2 with an RBI single, looking for his second hit of the ball game. Check down to first, not there in time, so Eberlein has yet to deal the 2-1. Hardhats have 8 runs on the power of 9 hits. No errors charged on defense. Two-1 from Eberlein. Swung on and missed. Count evens up at 2-2, and Rock Creek, who Eberlein is currently pitching against, has 4 runs on the power of 8 hits and 2 errors charged. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count here to Magruder. And Eberlein steps off the rubber and takes some time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eberlein looking for his second strikeout in relief. 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And there is his second strikeout. 1 down with a man on first. That's going to bring up Kia Osaka, the catcher, and the double play ball is in effect to end this half inning. And depending on how the umpires want to play this out, Tom, the ball game.
Well, I don't think Mitch Mesa would put his team out there. I mean, it would just be useless. You could risk injury. Just there's no point to it.
First pitch from Eberlein skips low for ball 1.
It's got to be treated as if it was the top of the 7th.
1 ball, no strikes to count here to Kia Osaka, the catcher. It was 0 for 2 with a fly out to right and a pop into a double play. The 1-0 is popped up. Timmy Paris locating it from behind home plate. Comes to the fence and he makes the catch. So a pop, 2 in the book, 2 down, and quite possibly the last out of this ball game comes back to the top of the order to Noah Andrews, the shortstop.
And look at it from the Rock Creek standpoint. Why would you put your team out on the field in the bottom of an inning when you know you can't win the game? Use up more pitching in this tournament, it'd be. So it's a pretty strong case that you only be a fool would be somebody who would put his team out there. I pray to the Lord that somebody doesn't take the field.
I hope so, given what you just said. Because the last thing I want to do is come back on the air and say, hey, look at these bunch of fools coming out. 2 outs, top of the 6th. There's a man on first. And the first pitch from Eberlein to Noah Andrews is a called strike. 0-1 the count. Man on first is Henry Murphy. He had a leadoff walk. And the 0-1. Swung on and the ball's hit to the left side of the infield. Pullman gets the stop at short. Throw to second is not in time. They're saying that the throw took Walker Paz off the bag. So Noah Andrews is safe at first. And the gentleman heading to second, Henry Murphy, is safe at second. And we keep on going. Kyle Sherrick, the left-handed hitting center fielder, is now up.
9 hits now for Rock Creek in the game.
That one comes with 2 outs. So Sherrick has a man in scoring position and a man on first. And his first pitch from Eberline is high and away for ball 1. Sherrick on the ball game, 2 for 2, a pair of singles, a pair of runs scored, a pair of stolen bases, but only 1 base on balls. So to put it in line with everything else, he's got to walk now for a pair of everything in this ball game. 1-0. Rides high and inside. 2 balls, no strikes. I hope he doesn't get a base on balls, but if he does, then he would have a pair of base on balls, a pair of singles, a pair of stolen bases, and a pair of runs scored. Just symmetry. It makes sense. There's his 2-0. Outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Dawson Baker, the left fielder, now turned sidewinding pitcher, is on deck. Eberline from the stretch. 3-0 pitch. Called strike at his belt, inside part of the plate. And Kyle Sherrick had to stop halfway up the baseline and turn around to go back into the left-handed hitting batter's box. So 3-1 now the count from Eberline. And he deals. High and away, ball 4. So now for Sherrick, it's a pair of walks, a pair of singles, a pair of runs scored, and a pair of stolen bases. That loads up the bases, and we'll bring up Dawson Baker, the pitcher. And it looks like the infield comes in to give some words of encouragement to Trey Eberline. So bases loaded, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. And the tying run is at the plate right now. Hardhats are up 8-4. All they need is this last out. Eberline takes his time. Infield at its normal depth. First pitch. High and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count now from Eberline to Baker. Baker on the ballgame 0 for 3. A strikeout, a ground out to third, a fly out to left. His first hit of the ballgame would surely knock in 2 runs. Definitely 1. Here's his 1-0. Swung on, and that ball is fouled. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Dawson really opened up his stance on that.
He was going for the grand slam. He was trying to tie this game on that one pitch there from Eberline. He's got to be a good hitter in the number 3 spot.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. And Eberline deals. Swung on and missed, strike 2 again, opening up that stance, but he fanned on the high fastball. So now a ball and 2 strikes. Eberline is 1 pitch away from ending this. And he could use that greediness of Baker to his advantage. If he keeps trying to swing at everything and kill it, he could get the strikeout right here. 1-2 from Eberline. Swung on, and the ball's hit high in the air to center field. Connor King drifts to his left, and he makes the catch. That ends the top half of the 6th inning. And the Hardhats have an 8-4 win under their belt, as the time limit is called, I believe. And that's going to do it. Yep, that'll do it. Everybody's coming to home plate to shake hands. Hardhats take the win 8-4. They are 2-0 in the Blue Summer Series.
Good win for Post 22. It was a little tough early in the game, but a fine relief job by Trey Eberline. He picks up the win in relief as Post 22 goes to 31-3 on the season with their 10th win in a row here tonight against Rock Creek out of the Seattle area. 8-4, the final score. Mark and I will return. We'll wrap this one up. Check the highlights of the game, the final numbers. When we return, you're watching Post 22 Baseball on Hardhat-TV.
You don't have to try to hit a home run when you're hitting singles and doubles all day. Consistency wins games, and it's key to helping achieve your retirement goals. At Weitzel Financial Group, they believe they're there to help with your own ideals and goals. Head toward your field of dreams. Call Weitzel Financial Group for a consultation at 348-1152. Kurt Weitzel is a registered representative and investment advisor representative with and offers securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Weitzel Financial Group, 817 9th Street, Rapid City, South Dakota, 57701.
Final totals on the board here at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington. 8 runs on 9 hits for post 22. They committed 1 error and stranded 8. 4 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors, and 8 left for Rock Creek. Tommy Wall worked the first 3 innings, was touched for 6 hits and 4 runs. He gets a no decision. Trey Eberline works the final 3 innings in relief, giving up 3 hits and no runs over those 3 innings of work. Or was that, let's see, did he give up? No runs, because Tommy Moore gave up that run in the 4th inning when Eberline then came on. So good job by Trey. It's good to see him get some work out of the bullpen. Post 22, trailed 2-0 after the first half inning, came back to get a run in the 1st inning as Cooper Bowman scored on a bases-loaded walk to Luke Ferdinand. It was 2-1. Post 22 then took the lead with 2 runs in the 2nd, 3-2 on a 2-run single by Cooper Bowman. Rock Creek tied it in the top of the 3rd, 3-3, went ahead 4-3 with a run in the top of the 4th, and then Post 22 had 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning on 3 hits. They had a run-scoring double from Zach Sumption. They had RBI triples from Walker Paz and Cooper Bowman in the inning. Another run scored on a wild pitch. And Post 22 went ahead there 8-4, and that's how the game ended, Mark. But, I don't want this to sound funny, but it was good to see a game where Post 22 was challenged. It wasn't a walkover by any means. 8 men left on base for Rock Creek in the game. They scored 4 runs, had 9 hits. But again, Post 22 deserved to win, but they were helped out again by a couple of mistakes by Rock Springs.
And the big error that stands out to me is when Timmy Paris got the E6 in that 5-run 4th inning. You have 2 outs at that point. I'm sorry, you have a chance to record the 2nd out. Yeah, you give up the run, but you have a chance to record that key 2nd out. You're just trying to get out of stuff. And the shortstop, Andrews, tries to make this finesse play. And instead of corralling the ball in his glove, getting the sure out at first, because there was no way he was going to get the play at 2nd cleanly without committing an error on an overthrow or botching the throw, he decides to try and flip it with his glove. Instead, he airmails it over his second baseman's head, and before you know it, it's just the wheels fell off the wagon. Now, granted, after that, Rock Creek was able to lock down. They got the last 2 outs, both on strikeouts, from the relief pitcher and Jaden Nelson, but you could have saved yourself so much trouble. You could have ended things earlier, and then maybe that gives you more confidence heading into the next inning, and you play around with it. But you are right. There was some help from the Hardhats, but nonetheless, what a game we had at the first 3.5 innings of this ball game. Back and forth. You had no idea if the Hardhats were going to come out and tie it, who was going to come up with the clutch hit, and we saw some really good baseball tonight. Here's hoping that we see even more tomorrow.
Well, we saw Cooper Bowman get 3 hits his first 3 at-bats, which gave him 8 consecutive at-bats with 8 hits. And in the game, Cooper was 3 for 4, a 2-run single in the 2nd, a run-scoring triple in the 4th inning. Cooper now with 3 hits today in 4 at-bats. In his last 4 games, 13 for 18, and his last 17 games, 18 hits in 26 at-bats. I mean, that's, I can't come up with words anymore to describe Cooper's play.
Talking about those 8 consecutive at-bats in which he hit, Tom, those at-bats registered RBI double back against the Bitterroot Red Sox on Tuesday night. Then last night against Crew, he goes 2-run home run, grand slam, double, RBI single. And then today against Rock Creek, he goes single, 2-run RBI single, RBI triple. I mean, He's hitting everywhere. He's hitting for power. He's doing just about everything. He's hit for the cycle in that span. Let's be real. He's hit a couple of singles, the 1 triple, 2 doubles, the 2 home runs, the grand slam included in that. I mean, geez.
Post 22's 2-0 in their pool now. The Washington A's, who are in their pool, they played 2 games over at Colfax. One of them is underway. Then they play Crew tonight. Toyota Baseball plays tonight against the Washington A's, so some of these teams will catch up with Post 22 in games. Tomorrow, our air time will be approximately 2 p.m. from Pullman High School, and Post 22 will take on Toyota Baseball, which is in progress right now against the Washington A's. So 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, Rapid City time, Post 22 Hardhats against Toyota Baseball, and Mitch Messer thinks they just might be the best team that we'll face in this tournament, but we'll have to wait and see.
So Kyle McGuire is going to have to be on his game if he hopes to give this Hardhats club a 3-0 record in pool play and really put them in the driver's seat to try and take this pool and get to bracket play on Sunday afternoon here at this gorgeous Washington State baseball facility. So should be a tough test, but here's hoping we see even better baseball, even more so than we saw today.
Well, that's the story, so I'll leave you with this. Good night, Mark.
Well, actually, it's technically afternoon. Well, we're in that.
It's 6:22 back home. That's what I was referring to.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there. Well, good night, Tom, if that's the case. Good night if we're playing in time zones. It's also nighttime, I think, in London, too. So good night to everybody back home in London as well.
I don't think we have any listeners in Pullman, but I think we have a few back in Rapids. So. when in Rome, do as the Romans. So I guess in Pullman, do as if you're a Pullmanite.
You wouldn't just call somebody from Pullman a Pullman? I mean, it makes sense.
Could. I guess that would be. Good night, Mark.
Good night, Tom. We will see you tomorrow afternoon. Thanks so much for sticking with us, folks. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon as Post 22 takes on Toyota Baseball. For my partner, Tom Rudabush, and for our director of Hardhats-TV, Dustin Human, this is Mark Benetti saying so long and enjoy your evening from wherever you are listening to our broadcast.